All right, let's get started off on this first one here. So we're combining functions today, and so there's multiple ways to combine functions. We got f plus g where we add them together, f minus g where we subtract them, f times g where we multiply them, and f over g where we divide them. Later on we'll get to composites, so that's where we plug one function into another. But for now, for all of these ones, we just got to make sure that we take into account the domain restrictions of the original two functions, okay? All right, so let's start off here on number one. So we'll just start off by adding these. So f plus g of x just means add these together. So I get 2x minus 5 plus 3x squared plus 6x, which we would just combine like terms, and I would just write it in the standard form. So 3x squared plus 8x minus 5. For the domain on this, actually I should have listed originally f of x. If you look back at this one, no domain restrictions. We have no radicals and no denominators. So that's what we need to be looking at. And then in this case, g of x as well has no radicals and no denominators, so I don't need to worry about that. So the final answer also has no radicals and no denominators, so we're going to say the domain is negative infinity to infinity. All right, next up we'll do f minus g of x. So for this one, we got 2x minus 5 minus 3x squared plus 6x. So this one's going to require us to distribute the negative on this second piece. And then I would combine like terms, so that's going to give me negative 3x squared minus 4x minus 5 with a domain of negative infinity to infinity. Once again, there are no radicals, no denominators, so that's why I don't need to worry about the domain. All right, next up we have f times g of x. And so in this case, we're going to multiply these together. So 2x minus 5 times 3x squared plus 6x. So we're going to FOIL on this one. So first times first is going to be 6x to the third power. And then inner times inner will be negative 15x squared. Outer times outer will be positive 12x squared. And then last times last would be negative 30x. I can combine like terms there, so I get 6x to the third. What is that, a 12? Okay, so minus 3x squared minus 30x. I don't see any radicals nor denominators still, so I'm going to keep my domain at negative infinity to infinity. All right, lastly here, we have f over g of x, and so we're just going to divide these. So it's going to be 2x minus 5 over 3x squared plus 6x. I would only factor things if you were able to cancel anything out. I don't think we're going to be able to cancel anything out. But now I do have some domain restrictions because my denominator cannot equal 0. So for domain, I need to take my denominator and say this cannot equal 0. So I'm going to factor out a 3x. Say that cannot equal 0. So 3x cannot equal 0. X plus 2 cannot equal 0. So that means x cannot equal 0. X cannot equal negative 2. So for the domain here in interval notation, I would say it's from negative infinity to negative 2, negative 2 to 0, and then 0 to infinity. Every number except for those 2. If you were to draw this on the number line, negative 2 and 0 would be open dots, and it's just everywhere else. All right, so next up we're going to do some composite functions. So that's like a function within a function. So I'm going to start off here with f of g of 3. With these ones, we always want to work inside out. So I'm going to start off by doing g of 3. And so that means plug in 3 into the g function. So 3 squared minus 1. And so that's 9 minus 1 is going to give me 8. But now I need to do the outer function. So I take that answer from the first part, and now that's like my x value now. And so I have to plug that into the f function, 3 times 8 minus 4. And so that is 24 minus 4. So that's going to give me a final answer of 20. Same idea for g of f of negative 2, but this time the inner function is f of negative 2, so I'm going to plug it in there first. 3 times negative 2 minus 4, so that is negative 6 minus 4, so that is negative 10. So then I take that negative 10 and plug it in the outer function, which in this case is g. So that's going to be negative 10 squared minus 1, 100 minus 1, which will be 99. Lastly here, f of 1. So I once again start off with that inner piece, which is f of 1. So 3 times 1 minus 4. And so that is negative 1. And then I take that and plug it in the outer function, which in this case is back into f. So plug negative 1 now into f. So 3 times negative 1 minus 4, which would be negative 3 minus 4, negative 7. Same idea on the table here. So if I wanted to do something like f of g of 4, I would do g of 4 first. So then on the table, I find the x value of 4, and then the g value there is negative 2. But now I have to do the outer function, so I take that answer from the first piece and plug it in there. And so now I'm going to the x value of negative 2, and I look at the f, which is 6. All right, so for g of f of 0, once again, start off with f of 0. So f of 0, I go to the x value of 0, and the f says 5. But now I take that 5 and plug it in the outer function, which is g in this case, and go to the x value of 5, and g says 5 as well. All right, and then last up, I got g of negative 1. So start off with g of negative 1. Go to the table. There's the x value of negative 1. The g says 3. So then I take that and plug it in. And in this case, it's back into g because that's the outer function. X value of 3 means the g value of negative 1. So that's my final answer there. All right, next up now we're going to do a graph. Now, it did change the notation here of it. So it says it's like this f and then the little floating orb thing of g. But really, that really means the same thing as f of g of negative 2. I like this a lot better. So just know whenever they do that little floating orb thing, you could just rewrite it like this, okay? So we're going to start. So then if that's the case, we're just going to start off like we were before. We're going to do the inside g of negative 2. So we're going to go to the x value of negative 2, and then I'm going to find the g value, which is right there. The y value is 1. So I'm going to take that y value, and now we're going to plug it into the outer function, which in this case is f. So I go to the x value of 1 and find the f graph, which is right here. And so that's the y value of negative 1. Next up, the g of f of 3. So I'm going to do f of 3 first. So I'm going to go to the x value of 3, find the f graph. It's actually right here at 0. And so now I need to take that and plug it in the outer function, which in this case is g. So g of 0 is up here, and it happens to be at a y value of 3. All right, lastly, we'll do g of 1. So start off with g of 1. G of 1, go to the x value of 1, and the g graph is up here at 4. And then we're going to go to g of, and I'm going to take that and plug that 4 in there, since this is g of. So I'm going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, and find the x value right there, which is at 3. All right, next up, we're going to do some more composite functions. So we're going to start off here with f of g of x. Remember, that's just saying the same thing as this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm still going to kind of work inside out. I'm going to leave the f out here, but I'm going to replace g of x with this whole thing. So that'll be x minus 3. And so that means go to the f function, and then every time I see an x, plug in x minus 3. So that's going to be x minus 3 squared. Well, I want to simplify that, so I'm going to go ahead and write it twice and FOIL it. And so that's going to give me x squared minus 3x is minus 6x, and then plus 9. Now for the domain on this one, I have to look at the, for domain on these ones, you have to consider the domain restrictions of the inner function and final answer, but not the outer function, okay? Now in this case, it's going to be pretty easy, because if we take a look, the inner function has no radicals or denominator, the final answer has no radicals or denominator, and so our domain is going to be negative infinity to infinity. On the next page, we're going to see some restrictions on these, so stick with us, okay? All right, so next up, I'm going to switch over to g of f of x, so kind of the other way around. So that's going to be g of, and remember that's just saying this. And so g of x squared, and so that's going to be x squared minus 3. I technically should put parentheses right there, but then you can see I'm just going to write that without parentheses, and it would mean the same thing. Now I look at the inner function, I see no radicals nor denominators. I look at the final answer, no radicals or denominators, so that tells me that this one is negative infinity to infinity. All right, next up we have f of x. So this one is going to be f of x squared, and so I'm going to plug in x squared in for x, and then so that means it's going to be x squared squared, so that's going to give me x to the fourth. Once again, I see in the inner function no radicals nor denominators, the final answer no radicals nor denominators, and so I'm going to say negative infinity to infinity for domain. All right, and then, oh, we already did, shoot. We already did the g. I wanted to do g of x. Actually, you know what? Don't even worry about that one. It's no fun. Okay, fair enough. So we're all done with this page. Okay, so now things are going to get a little more interesting, especially when it comes to domain, when we do these ones. So remember, this one's f of g of x. Let's do that one first. So that's going to be f of x squared plus 3. And so that is going to be the square root of x squared plus 3. I would leave my final answer like that. And then for domain, I look at the inner function, there's no radicals or denominators. I look at the final answer, there actually is radicals. There is a radical. So I know the inside of the radical must be greater than or equal to 0, okay? And so if we try to solve this, oops, that would be negative 3, and we square root it, we get an imaginary number, okay? And so that's a little weird. And so what I would just consider here, I would go back to the original. I would think of the graph x squared plus 3. So when is this greater than 0? Well, you can see it's always greater than 0, right? If you think about that graph. And so in this case then, this one's going to be negative infinity to infinity. There's actually no x value that I could plug in there that's going to make that radical less than 0, okay? All right, so let's take a look at the next piece, which is g of f of x. So this one's going to be g of rad x. And so that'll be rad x squared plus 3, which the radical and the squared would cancel each other out, and we just get x plus 3. But the domain on this one, if you look at the final answer, it would be negative infinity to infinity because there's no radicals nor denominators. But if you look back at the inner function, we have to take that into consideration. So on the inner function, we know the inside of the radical must be greater than or equal to 0. And so that would restrict this domain to 0 to infinity. Even though that radical got canceled out, it still carries over because it was on the inner function. All right, next up here we have a triple composite. So these are fun. So we're just going to work our way inside. So I know h of x is just x plus 3. So then I'm going to plug that into the g of x plus 3 would just be the square root of x plus 3. So then I'm going to take that and plug it into f. So f of the square root of x plus 3 would give me the square root of x plus 3 to the third power minus 2. I don't see anything I can do to simplify that, so I would leave it like that. If you wanted to, if you're into fractional exponents, you could actually write that as the 3 over 2 power as well. So I think WebAssign would take either one of those. Next up here, it's asking us to express this in the form of f of g of x. And so I kind of see this x plus 4 as the inner function. So I would call that g of x as x plus 4. And then h of x would be just the cube root of x. Oh, not h, excuse me. F of x is kind of the outer function. So I would see that as the cube root of x. So you can see that if I plugged this g into the f, I would get this result. Number 9 is asking us to do it as a triple function now. And so what I would say then is that the, I would say the h of x on the inside, I could actually just make that x, and then I could plug that into x plus 4, and then I could plug that into the cube root of x. It's not the only way to do it, but that's how I see it.